All right, let's quickly run through this. Seeing the House of Reps decrying the high cost of living in Nigeria and basically saying those who are selling should please tender justice with mercy, temper justice with mercy. I find it funny and I choose to laugh over this. Are you saying that the retailer who purchases a basin of gari or a bag of gari and then needs a laborer to put it in a truck that moves it from the bush market, so I'm looking at the lowest level right now, into the consumer markets, direct consumer markets, and while in the consumer markets, this trader will have to pay a wheelbarrow man who would have to lift that from the point the truck stops to his or her shop, and will have to pay salespersons, will have to pay electricity bill at the cost that the rep members are paying. The electricity bill is electricity bill in this country. There's no high or low. What you pay as a president, that is what I pay. So you mean after doing all of that, you pay your shop attendants or shop attendants, who at the end of the day, the little you pay them is not even enough. They will have to pay transportation at the cost of what the fuel price is, which has also increased. They will also have to buy the same cup of rice at the cost that the president who can afford a bag of rice at maybe 60-something thousand can afford it. They will buy that same the measure of a cup at the amount of that bag of rice, which is, if you measure it in cups. So there is literally no difference in the standard of living, whether you are earning 1,000 naira, you're earning 2,000 naira, and you're talking about they should tell. That's a part that I just want to react to this.
Well, I feel the same way as you. It is not completely the making of the retailers, so they shouldn't be talking directly to the retailers. The retailers are themselves not believing that they are doing enough. They don't believe that the members of the House of Reps they are suffering the same way they are suffering. So they feel, look, you're paying lip service to what we are suffering. I agree that these retailers can be very treacherous sometimes. They just hear that the market price of a particular good has gone up and their own goes up immediately. Yep. Some of them can be very, very, very annoying at times, and you wonder if the dollar has increased, did the dollar increase the price of ugu in the market? But we should be more strategic. We should be in terms of the food production. And the first thing one of them said there, provide security. Encourage investors. Look, traveling from, say, Enugu down to Port Harcourt, look at your way on the right and the left, arable land. Down here, you're not seeing anyone doing any form of farming. Especially it's worse here, where nobody wants to do anything. You just believe that we are oil, the government will give you. Nobody, even the least subsistent farming that one could do to provide at least food for yourself. If we have 200 million persons in Nigeria and at least 50 to 60 million persons can provide their own food, it will help us.
They also called on the government, I beg your pardon, they also called on the government for the government to open the National Food Reserve and also talk about seeing how import countries can be, negotiated, basically open the borders. Yeah. Poultry products, I remember back then when they used to import poultry products from, I think it was Cotonou and all, somewhere around that. I don't know, one of these borders, but
yes, they bring it down through to Cotonou. They actually smuggle them.
I don't know, but I know that these things used to be cheaper before the Buhari government shut down the border and all of that. But again, even if they decide to open the borders and allow importation of these poultry products and what have you, or any kind of food, how much of this is going to save Nigeria, bring us out of the economic quagmire that we'll find ourselves? Shouldn't we be talking about investing more in agriculture right now?
That's what we should be talking about. I don't subscribe to us opening any border, because border will bring anybody who just mobile some kind of substandard goods, bring it, dump it here, and then of course it was still the same NAFDAC and other agencies that raised alarm about using formalin and other to preserve these
poultry products. Yeah.
So you bring it here, and I tell you, like I mentioned when we talked about the drugs and the fake drugs and all of that, if you keep a poultry product here, 1 kg of chicken broiler that is substandard, and you say 1 kg is 1,000, Meanwhile, the 1 kg of the fresh one that you know is
organic,
healthy is 6,000 or 5,000 naira. I can tell you. You'll be shocked at even those who will buy the one that is substandard.
So to manage this shock, shouldn't the rep members be advising the government to reinvest and push more the high cost of living, the food prices hike, shock and all of that, more in releasing funds for agriculture? Remember the number of farms that has come up after the President Buhari shut the border then. Shouldn't they be talking about pushing more into agriculture to ensure that Nigeria become more of a producing economy than imports dependent economy?
That's exactly what they should do. But I can tell you they are paying lip service to the realities, the real suffering that Nigerians are going through. They just had to say something. They are, okay, we're in the plenary, we must talk. How did they manage the 200 million naira worth of rice given to them by Tinubu? Of course, I fought Tinubu for giving rice through House of Reps, but of course he's playing politics. I'm not stopping him from playing politics, but you know, if you give them, announce it and tell them how to share them. I agree with anybody who says, oh, you know, let me put the nation together, both APC, PDP, every member of the House of Reps take this amount of rice. If you ask me, it must have come from the reserve we're talking about. If you open the reserve, what is left in the reserve? How long have we been doing this reserve? Who is doing it? We should take agriculture as a national emergency.